Buenos, part 6. Okay, we're gonna get through this in 6 parts. I fully believe we're gonna get through this in 6 parts. So, thanks for watching. If you watch this through all 5 parts. Now, obviously, this is gonna take forever and a day to upload to my YouTube channel, but hey, it's okay because I have the rest of the evening, so it's no big deal. So, I just talked with you in the last video about Spring Arbor. So now we're gonna get down to Bethel and Goshen. These are the last 2 teams, the very last 2 teams to talk about. So I'm going to start with Goshen first. Goshen, on the other hand, they had a great team in 2015/16. They had a team that only lost 3 games in the Crossroads League that season. 3 games. So with that being said, you're like, man, they only lost 3 times in that whole season in conference, which is really, really good. Yes, it is. Because that year, they defeated #1 Indiana Wesleyan. Get this. Yeah, they defeated #1 Indiana Wesleyan. And you're like, what? The number one seed went down. Yeah. Goshen, they were really, really good that year. They were beyond good. They were awesome. They were awesome, and Coach Miller has done such a great job with that program, and of course, she's going into her 10th year at the helm of that program, coming into this upcoming year. So, God bless you, Coach Miller, if you're watching this, and I know you're going to continue to do great things with your team up in northern Indiana at Goshen. So, the thing about Goshen now, the past few years, they just haven't really gotten it together. They've struggled the majority of the year, and in the past 2 seasons combined, they've only won 2 games in conference. The last 2 years combined, which honestly is really, really crazy to think about. If you truly think about that, you're like, man, well, what team can only win 2 combined Crossroads League games in 2 years? Like that sounds crazy. So now the question is Goshen going to be a lot better this upcoming season? I think they are. Coach Miller has signed some really, really good recruits. So I think Goshen, they are going to be capable, I personally think, of winning 5, maybe 6 games in conference this upcoming year, which could play into a factor of playing Mount Vernon. Can Mount Vernon beat Goshen? Well, I really think they can, especially with the recruiting class that Mount Vernon got. I've talked about that earlier on, or I forget how many parts ago now I talked about that. But yeah, I think Mount Vernon can beat Goshen. Now, I've saved the best for last. Bethel University, Mishawaka, Indiana. And nothing against Northern Indiana. I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. Go Fighting Irish. Hope they have a great year this upcoming season. Bethel is interesting, and here's why. Because they have signed several recruits. One high school recruit they signed averaged over 25 points a game in high school. Now, obviously, high school and college, 2 totally different things. It's completely different from high school to college. Completely different. Because when you're coming from high school to college, you don't realize just how tough things are going to get. Now, obviously, you're used to your high school conference. You're not used to a Crossroads League conference once you get into college. So that, I think, is going to play a factor in Bethel's success. Now, Bethel, this past season, only won 2 games in conference. 2 games. All right? 2 games. Spring Arbor and Goshen were the only 2 Crossroads League wins. Bethel, I think, is going to be the most interesting team on the radar that people need to watch out for this upcoming season, because they have these several good recruits. Now, with all that being said, can Mount Vernon beat them? It might be tougher than what you might expect. Now in that home game against Bethel back in February, Mount Vernon, they had a double-digit lead before halftime, and Bethel sliced it down to only 1 or 2. Which we're like, man, this shouldn't even be happening because Bethel is this bad. Well, in the second half, Mount Vernon, it was close through the 3rd quarter, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe Mount Vernon's not going to be able to pull this off. So Mount Vernon struggled in that game until the 4th quarter, and they were able to pull away and win. I believe it was 77-69 or something. So they only won by like 10 points, way closer than what everybody expected. Now, this upcoming season, I think Bethel is definitely going to be a team to watch that could easily compete for the top 5 or 6 playoff spots. They could. I'm not saying they will, but they could. So, in conclusion, as I learned in public speaking class this past spring semester, so where does Mount Vernon tie? Now, obviously, this is over 5 minutes now, so I'm going to try and keep this very, very brief as I wrap this up. Where is Mount Vernon going to be in the playoff race at the end of the regular season? Well, obviously, it all depends on COVID-19 and what the NAIA decides to do. If the NAIA decides that they're going to keep basketball and that we're going to play a full season and us fans are going to be able to go and support our teams, that will be awesome. In that scenario, do I think Mount Vernon can compete for at least the 3 seed in the Crossroads League to have their first home playoff game ever in program history? Yes, I really, really do. Because I think for our past talent from last year in terms of Maggie Coe setting the program record for most 3-pointers in a single season, as well as Sage Brannon, who had a great year on defense regarding steals. I mean, she played outstanding. And then, of course, sophomore Riley Peru, who, again, had a great freshman year, who had the most steals in program history in the win at Kenyon College back in December. So with all that being said, I think Mount Vernon is going to be at least the 3 seed in the postseason. That is my prediction, and I'm just going to go with that. Okay, now again, take all that with a grain of salt. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, if that truly is going to end up being the case. But in my prediction, I think Mount Vernon will be at least the 4 seed. At least. Maybe even the 3 seed. Okay, so that's my prediction. Mount Vernon, I believe, is going to be at least the 4 seed in the postseason this upcoming year, hosting their first ever home playoff game in program history. And they honestly could compete for the 3. I don't know about the 2, maybe even, probably not even the 1. Because Marion is probably going to be the 1. Anyway, hold on a second. So, that's my prediction in the upcoming season. So that has been my MVNU basketball prediction. Thanks so much for watching these 6 parts of this, because otherwise this would be probably like a 40-minute video in among itself. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. And again, I will be posting this to YouTube. Feel free to share to your friends, your family, and also please hit the subscribe button. I love new subscribers, okay? I absolutely love them. So definitely don't forget to do that. Thanks so much for watching, and God bless.